Welcome back, Star Wars fans and music lovers. A few weeks ago, I did a video breaking down the music while we were aboard the Tantive IV and how that music works. But one of the things that I went over far too quickly in that video was the music that's playing while Captain Antilles is being choked. So I wanted to take today to talk a little bit more about how that music works and why it is so effective. My name is Derek, and this is Star Wars Music Analysis. So, the sound from the score in this section gives us a subtle feeling of choking, whether we notice it or not. When we as musicians refer to the sound of music in regard to a specific instrument, we often use the term timbre, which is spelled completely different than the way it's said, but timbre is how we can tell the difference between a trumpet and a bassoon.
The bassoon, for I am the bassoon king.
Or between one person talking and another. See, everything that makes noise vibrates with slightly different shaped sound waves, and the way that those sound waves vibrate in our ear allows our brain to disseminate different sound sources. So, when you hear Vader's hulking, deep, mechanical voice, you immediately can tell it apart from someone like, say, Master Yoda, yes? But how is the concept of timbre so relevant for this brief scene while Captain Antilles is choked to death? Let's start by talking about the feeling of choking. Your throat and airflow are cut off, and there's a constriction to your body and your throat. So, with that in mind, let's examine the specific instruments that we're hearing and see how these reflect the idea of choking. In the background, we hear a bassoon. And if we think about the actual construction of a bassoon, we're immediately drawn to that large wooden tubing. But if we look closer, the sound begins by traveling through this very narrow pipe, and even before that, the player blows into the mechanism of two pieces of bamboo tied together. We categorize the bassoon as being a double-reeded instrument for this reason, but the sound of those two tightly pinched together pieces of bamboo is what gives the bassoon its characteristic nasally sound. And the effect for many double reed players, and especially oboe players, is similar to that of breathing through a small coffee stirrer straw. There's no possible way to get enough air through one without feeling like you're suffocating. That effect resonates through the instrument and into our subconscious for this scene. Another sound we clearly hear is brass, but not our normal brass sound. Instead, we hear them playing with a muted quality here. In order to demonstrate this, I have my trombone here, which is a member of the brass family. If I play regularly into the horn, we get something that sounds like this. Now, if I put this straight mute inside the bell, the mute is going to stop certain frequencies from coming through. It's changing what we call the harmonic overtones and therefore the timbre of the instrument as well. So now listen to the difference of this instrument when I play it with a straight mute. Okay, now I can take this one step further and attach this cup onto the mute as well, in creating what we call a cup mute. And this is going to continue to stop other overtones and create another timbre yet again. The last timbre with cup mute is similar to what we are hearing in the soundtrack. And again, this makes perfect sense to the mechanism that was used to create the sound. I took something, in this case a mute, and I placed it inside the bell of my instrument, cutting off or choking much of the airflow and sound from escaping the actual instrument. The last instrument that we hear very clearly are these high strings, and while no air is used to vibrate the strings, by playing very high up on the string, we essentially are keeping most of the string from resonating by again choking it off. I'm going to demonstrate this with a guitar just because I don't have a violin on me, but I'm going to start by playing this high open E string. Or I can play the same note by going really high up on my A string. But the sound or the timbre is completely different and it doesn't feel as full. So you can hear that difference again, this time on the string, and by going up really high on the highest string of the highest orchestral string instrument, a violin, Williams was again able to create something that sounded frail and lacking in support, giving us that sense that the music is being choked off the same way that Captain Antilles' jugular was. It's moments like this that, for me, add so much to the Star Wars universe that I don't find in other cinematic franchises. The focus on these details is insane, and I keep finding these little moments that just amaze me about the soundtrack. Oh, and the sound of bones popping helps too.
Where is the ambassador?
Yeah, that really drives the point home, doesn't it? Did you notice this timbre affecting you before? And tell me if I've missed anything in the comments below. But before you go, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to learn more about the music of a galaxy far, far away. And as always, may the be with you.